I felt a lot of frustration and anger yesterday, not towards any of the victims. It was towards Miss Susan L. Opper. And I won't even throw shots back at her. Again, I choose to take the high road.
You know, I'm sure Darrell Brooks Jr. earned the respect of a lot of people at Dawn's house by taking the high road when it dealt with Sue Opper. How's it going, everyone? You're watching Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, sightsoundsflavors.com. If at any point in time you like this... You know, I'm sure that Darrell Brooks Jr. earned the respect of a lot of people at Dawn's house by taking the high road and not firing shots back at lead prosecutor Sue Opper. I'm kidding, of course, because I said at Dawn's house. The idea that this man would take the high road against a respectable citizen like Sue Opper or any member of the prosecution team, any of the victims, any of the survivors, court staff, is preposterous. How's it going, everyone? You're watching Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, sightsoundsflavors.com. If at any point in time you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We need those subs by ringing the bell for notifications or clicking the button down below. And if you're so inclined and have the time, leave a comment below. Now, these remarks are not made at the beginning of the trial. Like arraignment, maybe. These were not made in his closing. These comments were made during his sentencing. His sentencing. He was already convicted. This was his one last time to perhaps, on some level, show remorse. He couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. And as I've been saying over and over again on all of my videos, there was something about Sue. Zach Witchow pointing out that he groomed Erica Patterson, that annoyed him. He didn't want to be called you-know-what. And Lazy Daisy, I don't know her name. Never remember her name. It's something like that. You know, she gave him some hard looks, and she was kind of like that supporting prosecutor. You know, she never really gave it to him, but she supported the other two that did. He didn't really have an issue with her, but he had an issue with Sue Opper. And why did he have such a strong issue with Sue, more so than with Judge Darrell, who is the one that sentenced him to the 800 years? It's because he was able to scare her. He was able to scare Judge Darrell to the point that she had to make a note, on the record no less, that this man, Darrell Brooks Jr., was staring her down. And even Zach Witchow, I think, to a certain extent, may have been a little bit intimidated, only because at times he was the closest one to him, and because he was a guy. And let's face it, if Darrell was going to attack anybody, well, actually, Darrell doesn't attack men, so I don't know. But I think that Zach, even though he was a lot of taller people, I can speak for this because I'm a taller person, are more docile. We don't usually start fights. We don't usually like to, attack people. It's usually the ankle biters. I mean, look at Napoleon. Look at the guy from Germany. I mean, they're all short. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. They're all short. I'm sure that short people are really nice, but usually short guys are trouble. If you're under 5'6" and you're a gentleman, I don't want any trouble with you. And I'm not even really kidding. But I think that he had the biggest issue with Sue Opper because Sue Opper was not scared. More so, she went head on against him. And he didn't like that. He likes women like his mom. If I tell her to come, she's going to come. He liked women like Erica Patterson, who he could beat up. You know how women are. My baby mama, I love her to death, but she's crazy. When she starts drinking, she's crazy, is what he told the police interrogators. And the roommate, we assume that he never had any issues with the roommate because the roommate seems to like him so much, but the track record speaks for itself. Maybe she was the exception. Maybe he never raised a hand to her. Maybe he never raised his voice to her. Maybe she was just scared of him to the beginning, and so they had a great relationship because she knew how it went. Or maybe it didn't apply to her. I don't know. It's one of those things. But I can see that there's not that much of a relationship between Darrell Brooks Jr. and Dr. Mary Edwards because I don't get that. I don't see Dr. Mary Edwards, Doctor of Divinity, Detroit activist, motivational speaker, and hostage negotiator, and astronaut and astrophysicist. I don't see her being scared of him, and I certainly don't see him talking to her the way that he would talk to his mom or to Erica, or I guess in this case to Sue Opper. I don't see that. But a lot of people say that's not really his grandma anyways, which would make sense. They got some pictures when he was a little kid, but that doesn't mean that that's actually his grandma. Is that Dawn's mom? Is that his dad's mom? Or is she just somebody that the family knew? I don't know. But the fact that he would say that he, Darrell Brooks Jr., responsible for the deaths of 6 innocent people, who drove his car into a parade, injuring dozens of people, traumatizing just innumerable people, an entire community, would be taking the moral high ground or the high road, or whatever he said, is preposterous. It's absolutely preposterous. It makes no sense. I mean, there's a lot of things in this trial that he said that made no sense. This is one of the things that he said that made no sense. But what's craziest of all is that he said it during a 2-hour. I always give Judge Darrell crap about her allowing him a 50-minute, basically a speech. But the sentencing speech, the sentencing comment, whatever you want to call it, that he does is 2 hours long. I mean, this guy was able to do so many things with this trial. I always draw comparisons to the Lorenzo trial. The judge there, Lorenzo asked him for 10 minutes if he could have 10 minutes to address the court. The judge was like, well, try to make it quick. Try to make it 5. Darrell Brooks Jr. got essentially 3 hours. You count the closing and then you count the sentencing. He basically got 3 hours, knowing that the press was covering this to the letter, that people were watching it, knowing that everybody in the court just wanted it to be done and over with. And he had 3 hours where he could have shown empathy. He could have shown remorse. He could have asked for mercy. Instead, attacked Sue, attacked the judge, attacked the witnesses, attacked everybody. And then had the audacity to say that he was taking the moral high ground. So it's just, to me, the high road. And this guy, really is just a little too much. As a litigant, as a defendant, he's something else. What do you think about Darrell Brooks Jr. saying he's taking the high road and not responding, not firing shots? Also, horrible choice of words, Darrell. You're a criminal defendant. Shouldn't be talking about firing anything, even figuratively speaking.